Hi there, welcome to Gaining Vision. I'm Melanie. Thanks so much for clicking. To my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your continuous love and support. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Please feel at home. When you have the opportunity to vote for somebody in politics when there's an election, how do you prepare? How do you make your selection? Do you take time, do your research, listen to the different debates, listen to the different interviews and watch what the political leaders are actually doing? Do you read up on their platforms, what they represent, and how they're going to impact your life as a citizen? For myself, I do all of that because my vote counts and I have to live with this politician for the next years and how they're going to help my country move forward. I think it's really important for us also to recognize a couple of things. First of all, the leader of the party is one voice. The party is a large entity. The policies and procedures and platform the entire party stands for isn't just represented by that one person. Yes, the leader is a spokesperson and perhaps is very invested in the causes and party's position. But it's important for us to understand it's not just one person, it's everyone. But like in all political agendas, there's always going to be controversy, miscommunication, misinformation, and of course, drama. And this is evident in many of the upcoming elections in 2024, whether you're looking at the US or in South Africa. I was really interested in the South African election coming up. All the political parties are out there on the road starting to do things in preparation. But what I found very intriguing was the way that the DA, John Steenhuisen, has been portraying EFF's Julius Malema. He spoke clearly about his point of view, calling Julius Malema bloodthirsty, a demigod, somebody who is inciting a civil war, digging up a demon of division.
But this weekend, we saw the return of a demon that we thought that we had buried in 1994. Standing on a stage in front of thousands of people in Soweto, Julius Malema resurrected the demon of hatred, division, and ethnic violence in South Africa. This is a man who is determined to ignite the civil war we averted in 1994. For far too long, people in government, the media, civil society, and constitutional institutions have refused to acknowledge Malema for the bloodthirsty tyrant and demagogue that he really is.
Of course, when I hear these accusations, I'm curious why, where he's getting his information, and if it's actually true. So I dug deep and I really watched a lot of videos, a lot of actions from both Julius Malema and Steenhuisen. Did you know that, of course, the EFF party is very focused on the people on the ground, the marginalized groups, making sure that everybody has what they need in the areas of education, the economy, jobs, and the land.
The future of South Africa is in the jobs, is in the land. We are here to serve our people. Under EFF government, women will own more than 50% of the land because they are the majority in South Africa.
There's so much more to their party position. But what I was discovering is what the EFF party and Julius Malema himself have been doing in the recent months, leading up to the 10th anniversary. They're very focused on those that don't have a voice, those that are not being heard of or thought of by many political parties. Individuals with disabilities, seniors, orphans.
Julius Malema says that it is a shame that 25 years into democracy, very little has been done to better the lives of people living with disabilities. Now, Malema was addressing thousands of supporters who packed the Orlando Stadium in Soweto yesterday. He's called on government to do more to take care of people with disabilities. Malema says a free South Africa will only be realized if all people living with disabilities have access to basic services, including decent housing.
And those that are dealing with catastrophe, whether it's flooding, homelessness, etc.
Residents of Kwamamsutu informal settlement on Quarry Road have started rebuilding their township after the deadly flood destroyed houses and roads in the area. The leadership of the economic freedom fighters, including its president Julius Malema, are expected to visit the area today. Karinda Jagmohan is there monitoring developments for us to tell us what we're seeing and hearing at this hour. Karinda.
Well, Dudu, I can tell you that when a convoy of trucks carrying relief aid came into the grounds that we're standing in, the community members around us were crying in joy. Actually, we've got some video of this. This is the relief aid that is being provided by the EFF today. My colleague behind the camera, Lungelo Zungu, will just show you some of the blankets that are being donated. And essentially, these are grocery hampers, about at least over 100 grocery hampers being given to the residents of this Quarry Road informal settlement, Kwamamsutu informal settlement as it's known. Now, what happened earlier, you saw the infrastructure, informal houses have been completely destroyed. It lies on the banks of the river, and when torrential rain came and flooded into the river, many houses were washed away. We understand one person died and one person remains missing. Now, the EFF leader, Julius Malema, is expected to come to this area. He's expected to arrive at about 11 o'clock. But joined here, actually, you can see the number of residents that are here, along with the EFF secretary, Marsha Dlamini. And so we'll just have a word with him. Thank you for speaking to us. Can you just tell us about the magnitude of your relief aid? How are you getting this assistance, and what exactly, besides what we're seeing here, that you're going to assist the residents with?
No, thanks. We came here firstly to assess the damage. The President and the Commander-in-Chief is here to assess the damage because ours is to first assess the damage and listen to communities, because you must never make a mistake of coming to communities arrogantly telling them what are their problems. We are here to listen to them. What are the issues? What kind of assistance do they need to assess the damage and be able to go back as an organization and find a permanent solution, a way forward on what needs to happen to the people of eThekwini, because we have seen families, some of them, they've not recovered, they don't know what happened to their families, they are still missing up to today, even the numbers that were being given. You can see that it's a PR from the ANC government, it's not the real numbers, because when we are on the ground speaking to families, they're saying we don't know what happened to our siblings, our children, they are missing since the flood. So for us, we're here not to do more than anything except to listen, so that we can be able to provide solutions, because the only people who know what needs to happen are the people of eThekwini, the people of these communities, it's not us.
In a couple of videos that I came across, Julius Malema and the EFF visited several homes for the disabled. They not only donated funds, but their time and effort. They didn't want to talk about politics. That's not what they were there. They're there to learn about the organization, what they're doing, and what their needs are. They're very curious. And Julius Malema has pledged and has encouraged the current government to make sure that they are, in fact, fighting towards ensuring people with disabilities have what they need.
Part of our commitment in traveling this journey with you will immediately leave with you 100,000 rands that will come to the management. So that with that 100,000, we know that really, there are so many challenges. We know it's not enough, but it's a sign of commitment that we are ready to travel with you this journey. We know it's not an easy journey, and therefore you will need more extra hands you can get. Having received support from the EFF, it doesn't mean when the ANC comes tomorrow, the EFF will have a problem. We will never have a problem. There is nothing politics about this place. This is a mini heaven. No one must come do politics here. Here we look after these children, and whoever can bring a lending hand, that person is welcomed, and we don't care where they come from. Yes. And if we are available and you extend the invitation, we'll come. Whether it's government, whether it's ANC, whether it's DA, we'll be here to say to them, we are happy that you have joined the cause. By so saying, we call on all those who have money, those who can make a contribution, to follow in the footsteps of the EFF. We don't have money, we also survive through donation.
He is upset that after 24 years, that individuals with disabilities are still struggling to find employment, housing, and he wants to ensure that every individual with disability has what they need. Now again, as I mentioned, it's a party initiative. It's not just Julius who's doing this. He happens to be the spokesperson. So as all of the party are going to these different locations, you can see that they're curious to learn about the organizations, where the gaps are, what their needs are, and how they can best help. They encourage others to donate and get involved to help donate their time, funds if possible, to ensure that every person has what they need in these particular things. Also, as part of their celebration of their 10th anniversary, they've visited many homes for seniors and orphanages, again, with that same intention to learn and listen to what the individuals on the ground, the citizens, actually need, where the gaps are, so that if they are elected, they can then help fill these gaps, as well as they can go to their counteracts, the other politicians and the other parties, to group together and come together to address these needs. Recently, there was flooding in Durban, South Africa, and the EFF was there on the ground again, donating funds, blankets, and food to those that were displaced. And it's not a full-time solution, but it is a temporary solution that, again, the EFF is showing that they are caring about what's happening with people on the ground. Now, I know that I'm sure other political parties are doing other stuff, but they're not sharing this with the people out there. I go back to what Steinhausen said, that in his speech, he called that they're looking for unity, they're looking for peace, to put down the weapons and come together and take action to make sure that South Africa is peaceful. He says that Julius Malema is calling for inciting of civil war. So he's going against what actions actually the EFF is showing. The EFF has talked about collaborating with other political parties in opposition to ensure that everybody comes together and makes sure that they are coming together for the people, for the citizens of South Africa. So I'm curious, where is the DA leader getting his information? Is he not doing his research and looking at what the EFF stands for and what they're actually doing on the ground? I know that the citizens of South Africa have a big decision ahead, and you have a year to do your research to look in there. But I will caution you that there's going to be a lot of propaganda, a lot of hatred speech from the different political parties towards other leaders. Don't judge what you hear in the media. Don't judge what you see in the papers, the TVs. Do your own research. Follow the actual platforms. What are they standing for? Does it match with what your needs are? Because your voice counts. It matters. And to all of the leaders in the South African political race, I encourage you to stick to the facts, what your position and your party will promise the citizens, and take action on that. Don't be bad-mouthing and bashing others. And that goes to all the politicians across the globe, because I know a lot of media likes the hype, likes the drama, and that's what they cover. They miss all of the policies and procedures and what's going to happen. So don't get caught up in those misconceptions, mistruths, whether it's on social media or in the mass media. It's important for us to do our due diligence and make sure that we know the facts. I am impressed with what the EFF party has done so far, and I look forward to seeing what else they do in the year to come. Until next time, do me a favor, take a second, hit subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, it's free. It helps encourage me to see you like the content I'm providing. Hit subscribe, go ahead, do it. What are you waiting for? Do it now.